Hello, and welcome back to the Mic Drop Music News Blitz podcast. This is episode 16, and we've got some really interesting topics today. We're going to start with Will, who's going to talk about Olivia Rodrigo's new album, You Seem Pretty Sad for a Girl So in Love.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about this album like in the run up with the singles coming out and everything. I think Anna spoke mentioned it the first time, Katie mentioned it, and it's just been like kind of this build up to where on Friday the album finally got released. And I'm gonna say it's not disappointed. I just want to start off, have you guys listened to it yet and had the chance to?
Yeah, I have done.
I haven't yet, but I did listen to this two singles that came out and I did enjoy them, so it's on my to listen list.
Yeah, I was gonna say I strongly recommend it. I mean, I kind of just had this thought process because I listened to it on the train. And it's like, obviously, Olivia, it's her third album now. And it's like, she really is, obviously, she already was this big pop star. But I feel like she's kind of solidifying herself into like actual greatness tiers of like being so consistent. This is her third album now. Sour was highly rated, Guts was highly rated, and this one is arguably one of her best albums out of the three. And it was just kind of this thought process I went through and just doing like a little bit of digging back into Guts, on Teenage Dream, the last song from Guts, she says, "When am I gonna stop being great for my age and just stop being good?" So it kind of is because I think everyone is like, wow, Olivia's really good, she's up and coming, but she is so young and she's getting compared to people her age, whereas now with this new album, like she is getting compared to the rest of the competition and everyone else in like kind of that pop music field. I mean, she's already done amazing things with her career. She's headlined Glastonbury, and I think generally just this new album is going to take it to like next level stardom. It wouldn't shock me when the Grammys come around. There's a lot of hype around her, and everyone is talking about this album because I do think it's that good. Um, Katie, since you've listened to it, what do you think of the album so far?
I would actually say mixed opinions. I really like the two singles. And there's one other song, I think it's called Expectations or something like that, that I thought was also as good as those two. And then I can't remember all the names yet, there's like a softer piano one where it's about someone, like actually being healthier if someone loves you a little bit less, because I think there's like a dodgy breakup moment. I thought that was really good. I'd say they were the favourites for me. Didn't enjoy all of them. I really didn't like the last track. I thought it had so much potential and didn't really go anywhere. So I did like it, and I thought you can see she's a really good musician. I think maybe just personal taste, some of it didn't land for me. There was one I actually thought the lyrics, I was like, because obviously we talked about how good the second single was in terms of recognizing that romantic love can't always fix you. And then there's one song on it about how when her boyfriend goes away, like nothing's good anymore. And I was thinking a bit like, kind of contradicted all the good stuff you set up there. But I don't like, I can really recognize from the really good songs that she's a great musician. I just think there were some highs and lows for me.
Yeah, and I think you kind of talk about like the obsession point of view, and I think just media wise as a whole. I mean, I'm going to stretch over to film, the movie Obsession. That's been like a big hit in terms of horror, and it kind of is carrying these similar themes of like this is not the purest form of love. This is not the best way to love someone, and it's kind of something that she explores throughout the entire album. And you mentioned Expectations. I think that's probably my favorite as well. It seems to be a fan favorite. I've seen it quite a couple of times. But yeah, I think I just wanted to talk about it, and I wouldn't shock me if I end up talking about it again when we come to Grammys, possibly, or that award season. So yeah.
No, definitely. I will definitely be listening to it very soon, probably even after the podcast, because it sounds like I have to form my own opinion. But next we're going to move on to Katie's topic, which is Spotify DNA and sort of loads of people working on different songs. So Katie, if you want to take it away.
Yeah, so obviously this is a feature that's been around for a few weeks now, but I had a bit of a deep dive myself. I was looking through some of my favourite artists, and I focused particularly on the folk singers. I think that's where it mattered to me the most in terms of who's been contributing to the tracks. And I was looking at like Billy Martin, Adrian Lenker, Hayley Hendricks. And I basically just went through and checked that they were the main writers on all the lyrics and the music. And then I started sort of questioning myself on why that mattered so much to me. Because I was thinking, like, pre-1960s, no one wrote their own songs. Like, singer-songwriter kind of formed after that, and they were seen as quite different things before that. Like, you were a performer or you were a writer, and there wasn't necessarily much crossover. Um, but I think with the folk singer now, like, authenticity has come back in a new way, and people really want to feel like they're learning something from the big name that, you know, is accredited to the title. Um, and it's funny because even when people are writing songs, they're not necessarily telling you the truth. They could lie about things, they could frame things, maybe to make themselves look like a better person, or maybe just because they haven't understood something in themselves yet. And also, people change, and they might write a song that's true to them one year, and then the next year their whole opinion on something shifted. So in some ways, it's a bit arbitrary, like trying to put your finger on what's authentic and what's not. But I think for me, like, I really want the lyrics to be something that's been formed in the artist's head, and even if it might be like telling me in a complete lie, but even if they're doing that, the lies they choose to tell still reveals a lot about the artist. And I think that's kind of where the tension's been for me, and that's why it's been something that I find so important to music now.
I think that's really interesting, and I've spoken about the song DNA before, about how I love that it gives like the sample, but I think definitely sort of, and we've spoken about it a lot on the podcast before, like authenticity, and we like knowing that something is made by an artist, whether that's actually like an authentic story or a metaphor or something like that. Will, what do you think about that?
I think I have mixed opinions on it because I think I've said it a couple times. My favorite artist, Beyonce, one of the main things she's criticized for is having a lot of songwriters and a lot of people credited. I'll see this like always as an argument against her, whereas I think it can go hand in hand of like being able to work with so many people, but also have your own creative vision come through. But with Katie mentioned like the folk singers, like obviously that's a completely different genre. Um, I think it depends on like the type of music you listen to and what you want to get out of it. Because obviously, as I mentioned with Beyonce, a lot of people use it to criticize her, but also she's like with the album Renaissance, she samples a lot. She has like she grabs from everywhere. Pink Panther, she samples a lot and she will get credited. But when it's like that deeply more personal style of music, if it was like Phoebe Bridges, I feel like, and we mentioned her last week, if I'm listening to a Phoebe Bridges song, I feel like I want to listen to Phoebe tell a story, not coming in from all these different parts. So honestly, it really depends on genre. And I don't really, I think that's where it matters is how personal it can be rather than yeah, I think it just depends on your expectations on the music as a whole and what kind of feel you want to get.
No, I think that's so fair, especially like you mentioned Phoebe Bridgers, and I think her songs are so personal that if you found out there was actually just like a team of five that wrote it, not her, you'd be kind of like, oh, so how does she make me feel that way when it's not her? So I think that is a very interesting thing. And I think the Spotify DNA is also great because if there is someone else behind a song, it kind of gives them that bit of credit and makes it easier to find who actually wrote it.
Yeah.
Um,
I kind of think it's like if if a celebrity does something and you can tell there's like maybe they've put something out, but you can tell there's a load of people behind it or lawyers or everything, and you can tell that it's not been crafted. It's like a PR kind of thing, and you can tell the celebrity themselves has not done it. It's not authentic. It's not their true honest feelings. That kind of leaves some distaste within fans. Whereas again with like Phoebe, if it's came from her, but then there's a team of five, six people behind it, it's kind of like, it kind of just I don't know, it doesn't mix quite well in your like in your heart.
Yeah, and I think authenticity does have so many layers to it as well, and I completely agree with you, Will. Like, I wouldn't care that Beyonce's got a team that writes her music because she's kind of like this big star, and it's all about the performance as well, and you don't necessarily go to her to like really emotionally connect. I guess you do in some ways, but not necessarily through storytelling in the same way. But you could even make the argument with like producers, because obviously they massively shape a sound, and even like a lot of folk artists have their work produced by others. And with Spotify DNA, because you can really easily click on producers now and see what else they've made, I guess it kind of shows you how much they can shape a song, and you might start hearing like their influence on the sound as well.
Yeah, I think it's just like a really interesting thing. But anyway, now I'm gonna move on to my topic. And that is the song Happy Birthday, because it is my birthday today. I am 22. And
Woo! Happy birthday. Should we sing it?
Oh my
Yeah, should we like sing it for you?
go ahead. I mean,
Happy birthday to you.
God.
Happy
Happy birthday.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, Nisha. Happy birthday to you.
That's the most awkward thing I've ever
thank you guys. And
I feel
that
like it's so
song,
out of time.
I think coming into me, it was kind of the same. So,
Okay. That's what matters. That's what matters.
but that is actually a lot of people say, I think the Guinness World Records in, I want to say 93, said that that is the most widely recognized song in the English language. And you just sang it. And I feel like if you walked into a room of 10 people and you were told, now you have to sing a song that everyone, complete random strangers, they have to know it. I think it'd be safe to go with Happy Birthday because everyone would know it. But I just wanted to like look into the history of it a bit, and it was actually quite interesting what I did find. So the origins of it are a little bit like they couldn't be confirmed, but a lot of people say that two teachers, they're two sisters, Patty and Mildred Hill, or Mill, I don't know. They were teachers and they kind of wrote a song, Good Morning to All, and they would sing it to their classrooms in 1893. And then somehow it was sort of, changed over the time and made a birthday song. And then Warner Bros. Actually purchased the song, which was very controversial. So they had the copyright for the song. And basically, if someone wanted to use it in a TV show, a movie, if a restaurant wanted to sing it, they would have to pay Warner Brothers for this song. And I think in 2010, it was $700 for a single use of the Happy Birthday song. That's why a lot of TV shows and movies, they make up their own, or they just avoid it altogether, because $700 for a single use is crazy for a song that they don't even have anyone to credit, because the two sisters, they never got credit for it, basically, because they couldn't accurately trace it back, and like that still might not even be true, but that's just kind of what people say is where it came from. In 2016, though, it did become public domain. The copyright was supposed to go until 2030, but it was disputed a lot, and there was like a really long, lengthy legal battle, and they just were kind of like, no. I mean, it's no one's. So now TV shows, movies, restaurants, they can use Happy Birthday. But I just thought that was so crazy that like this big corporation owned the song and we're charging, I think $700 is crazy. But yeah, what do you think about that? Like,
I think it's actually so big and greedy. I'm
yeah.
sorry, like that is actually so greedy. I couldn't believe that. I've literally never heard of that before.
Yeah, I mean, music copyright laws are a bit nuts anyway. Like, there's obviously so many technicalities to it, but I think if you went back in time and told like the original, just songs about community, and you use them for work, and everyone passed songs down, like the thought of copywriting anything to those people would have been absolutely crazy. So when you think to the fact that we've reached like a stage where you can copyright Happy Birthday, a bit crazy, really.
Yeah, and I think music copyright's already at the forefront with a lot of AI usage. I mean, we've talked about it a lot on the page, and I think that's already an issue with itself. But then also, I didn't even know we got to worry about big corporations taking Happy Birthday away from us. Like to pay $700 for a single use of the song to celebrate a special day for someone is it's just baffling to me. I think it's just kind of greed I've never heard of before in a way. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's insanely greedy. And if we were singing happy birthday, if you were singing happy birthday to me 10 years ago, we could have gotten copyright striked on the video. Like, how insane is that? But luckily, it's public domain. You can sing happy birthday to anyone you want. But I just thought it was really interesting, and it is sort of big corporate greed.
Yeah, because it's like one of my friends, he'll do this in public all the time. If it's someone's birthday, he'll stand up and start singing it. If someone came in and be like, "Oh, $700, please," I'm like, "What?" Well, that would be insane if we were back in 2010 and someone just pulled up and was like, "Oh, can you pay money for singing Happy Birthday?" I'll be like, "What?" Like everyone would be confused because no one, like, I feel like no one. I've never heard anyone talk about this before.
And that's sort of how I notice a lot in America, if I see videos, there's like almost different variations of the birthday song. And that was because like restaurants who would offer like happy birthday, like packages, and they bring out like a cake, they weren't allowed to use the official happy birthday. So they had to create their own.
I mean, it
That's
kind of just epitomizes Western culture, doesn't it? Like
Mhm.
everything. I understand like copyright laws are important in terms of like artists, but everything has to be owned by someone. Nothing's allowed to be like a shared communal thing anymore.
yeah.
But anyway, I think that's a good place to end it. Um, Make sure to check out our website. There's loads of articles on there, musicnewsblitz.com, and we will see you next week for another episode.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.